Ever feel like you're spinning your wheels, you know? Working hard, but not really getting anywhere.
Yeah, I've been there. It's like that feeling of having a to-do list that just keeps growing.
Right. So today we're diving into a system designed to tackle that feeling head on. Lean and TPM. We'll be exploring how to spot and eliminate waste, helping you work smarter, not harder, using some fascinating insights from experts across different industries.
And it all starts with recognizing the waste we don't see, the hidden inefficiencies. That's what we really need to uncover. There's this great quote from Shigeo Shingo. He says, "The most dangerous kind of waste is the waste we do not recognize."
It's so true, out of sight, out of mind, right? But ignoring those hidden wastes, well, that can really come back to bite you.
Absolutely. And that's where lean comes in. It's
Yeah.
like a systematic approach to streamlining, to really getting rid of anything that isn't adding value.
Trimming the fat, I like it. So we're talking about getting rid of any process or resource that isn't absolutely essential, right?
Exactly. It's about maximizing efficiency, delivering the most value for your customer without wasting time, resources, or money.
Who doesn't love that? But lean isn't a solo act, is it? We also have total productive maintenance or TPM entering the scene. What's the deal with that?
So TPM focuses on making sure your equipment and processes are always running in tip-top shape. Think of a well-oiled machine, humming along with no hiccups. That's what we're aiming for.
Ah, so no more surprise breakdowns throwing a wrench in the works.
Exactly. TPM is all about minimizing downtime and keeping those operations running smoothly and efficiently.
So lean and TPM sound like quite the power couple. But how do we actually implement these principles, make them work for us in the real world?
Well, it all starts with building a solid foundation, and that's where the 5S methodology comes in.
5S. It sounds kind of mysterious, like some kind of secret code.
Well, it's not exactly a secret, but it is a fundamental element of Kaizen, the Japanese principle of continuous improvement. Think of 5S as a roadmap to creating a more organized and efficient workplace.
A roadmap. Okay, I like where this is going. So where do we start on this 5S roadmap?
The first S stands for sort. Imagine you're tackling that junk drawer we were talking about earlier. You need to identify and remove anything that isn't essential for the task at hand.
Decluttering. Love it. Out with the old, in with the new.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And once you've sorted, it's time to sweep. And I'm not just talking about grabbing a broom here. It's about creating a clean and organized workspace where everything has its place.
So a place for everything and everything in its place. That's
To straighten.
Right.
You got it. Straighten is about making sure everything is easy to find so you're not wasting time searching for things.
Oh, tell me about who hasn't spent way too long looking for a stapler when they have a deadline looming? What's the next S that can save us from that kind of stress?
Schedule. This is where we establish routines for maintaining that order. It's like setting a regular cleaning and maintenance schedule. A little effort on a regular basis can really prevent those big messes down the line.
Makes total sense, like building those good habits. So, last but not least, what's the final S that completes this system?
That would be sustain. This is about making those positive changes stick, making them a part of the company culture.
Stain. It's like the glue that holds the whole 5S system together. But even with a perfectly organized workspace, we still have those sneaky sources of waste to watch out for, right? Those hidden inefficiencies we were talking about before.
Absolutely. And that's where understanding those 7 wastes, or muda as they're known in Lean, comes in.
7 ways. Okay, that sounds a little intimidating. Give us the rundown so we can be on the lookout.
So first up, we have defects.
Mm-hmm.
Think of a product that doesn't meet quality standards and has to be reworked or even scrapped. That's a waste of time, resources, and money.
Ouch. Definitely not good for business. What's next on the list of things to avoid?
Next, we have overproduction. This happens when you produce more than the market demands, leading to excess inventory and storage costs.
It's like having a stack of magazines that you know you'll never actually read. Okay, what else should we be aware of?
Waiting. Anytime a process is stalled because of delays or bottlenecks, imagine a construction project that's put on hold because materials haven't arrived, that's waiting, waste in action.
And time is money, right? So those delays can really add up. What's next on our waste-busting tour?
Next up is transportation. Unnecessary movement of materials, products, or even information. Every time something is moved without adding value, it's adding cost and complexity.
Like when you can't find an important document because it's been emailed back and forth a million times, that's definitely a pet peeve of mine. Okay, what else do we have?
Inventory, holding on to excess materials or finished goods. This ties up capital and increases the risk of those items becoming obsolete.
But it's a balance, right? because you don't want to run out of essential items either.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's about finding that sweet spot, having enough inventory to meet demand without having too much on hand.
Right. Too much inventory is just another form of clutter, right?
Okay, we're on the home stretch. What are the last two wastes on our list?
Motion, unnecessary movement by people or equipment within a workspace. This could be as simple as walking across the room to retrieve a tool that's not easily accessible.
So it's about designing workspaces that are efficient and minimize wasted movement.
Exactly. And finally, we have excessive processing. This is when we add unnecessary steps or complexity to a process.
Like having to fill out a 5-page form to order a box of pens? Exactly, that's a perfect example.
Okay, so now that we know what to look for, how do we actually go about preventing these wastes from creeping into our work?
Well, that's where the concept of poka-yoke comes in handy.
Poka-yoke, it sounds kind of like a martial arts move.
It's definitely a powerful technique, but in the world of lean, not martial arts. Poka-yoke means mistake-proofing, and it's all about designing systems that prevent errors before they even happen.
So instead of just catching errors after the fact, we're talking about building in safeguards to stop them in their tracks.
Exactly. And our source material actually gives a really interesting example. A manufacturing company was having trouble with defects on their assembly line. Turns out a small part could be installed incorrectly, which led to a whole bunch of faulty products.
Oh, I can only imagine the headaches that must have caused. Wasted materials, unhappy customers, not a good situation at all.
Exactly. So they came up with a really smart poka-yoke solution. They redesigned the part so it could only be installed the right way.
So simple, yet so effective. Did it actually make a difference?
It practically eliminated that specific defect. Less waste, better quality, and happier customers.
Yeah.
All because they applied a little poka-yoke.
I'm starting to see how valuable this could be. But how complicated are we talking? Is this all high-tech sensors and automation, or can it be simpler than that?
It can be surprisingly simple. You probably already encounter poka-yoke all the time and don't even realize it. Think about those safety features on everyday things.
Like what?
A gas pump nozzle that only fits one way, or a 3-pronged plug that can only be plugged in one way. Those are examples of poka-yoke in action.
Wow, you're right. It's those subtle design details that prevent us from making those little mistakes. So it's about being proactive and setting ourselves up for success right from the get-go.
Exactly. And the best part is that poka-yoke can be applied to pretty much any process, from manufacturing to healthcare to even software development.
It's like they say, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. And speaking of prevention, our source material also mentions the importance of visual management. What's that all about? Is it just about making things look pretty, or is there more to it?
Oh, it's definitely way more than just making things look nice.
Yeah.
Visual management is about using visual cues to communicate information clearly and quickly. It's about making the complex simple and easy to understand.
Because sometimes a picture really is worth 1,000 words, right? Especially in a busy workplace where nobody has time to read through a ton of reports or data.
Exactly. Visual management helps cut through all the clutter and gets right to the point. Imagine walking into a factory and being able to instantly see which stations are running, which orders are on schedule, and where there might be bottlenecks forming, all thanks to a well-designed visual system.
Okay, now that's what I call efficiency. It's like having X-ray vision for your workflow. So what are some common examples of visual management tools that people can use?
A really common one is the Kanban system. It uses cards or signals to visually represent tasks and their progress. It's a really simple but effective way to track inventory, monitor progress, and spot any potential problems.
And Kanban's not just for factories, right? I've seen it used for project management, software development, even personal to-do lists.
Absolutely. It's super versatile. Another common example is color-coding green for on track, yellow for needs attention, and red for stopped or delayed.
So simple, but our brains just seem to respond to those visual cues, don't they? It's like instant understanding.
Exactly. And that's why visual management is so powerful. It helps improve communication and allows people to make better, more informed decisions.
This deep dive has been amazing. We've covered so much ground today. Lean, TPM, the 5S methodology, the 7 wastes, poka-yoke, and even visual management. Whew.
We have covered a lot, but it all comes down to this. Even small changes can make a big difference.
Absolutely. You don't have to change everything overnight. Maybe start by implementing one of the 5S techniques in your workspace, or try to identify just one source of waste you can eliminate.
The important thing is to just get started. Embrace that idea of continuous improvement, always looking for ways to be more efficient and effective.
Couldn't agree more. Until next time, keep those wheels turning, stay curious, and remember, even small improvements can have a huge impact.